Welcome to Video Guide 5B, Adding Players. Please note that this specific video is only intended for clubs who will be accessing Godsport on behalf of the parents and already have the ability to upload a copy of every player's picture and proof of birth. In the last video, we created our teams and registered them to the league. Now we will be adding players so that we can go in and complete their requirements. These requirements are a picture, proof of birth, and R002 medical waiver, as I mentioned before, and if the player's age 18 or older or turning 18, the safe sport. Before we get into that, though, I want to elaborate more on the concept of a role in Godsport. I've mentioned it a couple times in past videos, but didn't go in much detail. In Godsport, a role is used by the system to determine how it should handle the profile in the context of the club. It uses this in conjunction with the competitive level / affiliation you have seen come up already in the past videos to determine what requirements are visible for that member. For example, the site sees that a person has a role of player with a US club affiliation and competitive level, so it knows to give that profile the option to upload a proof of birth to US club and complete the R002 medical waiver, both of which are US club specific requirements. This carries over to how the system handles the role of coach and team manager as well. With that in mind, you will have a much easier time getting players added and avoid many potential headaches down the road. So on to getting the players added, there are two ways to add players to your dashboard: manually one at a time or importing multiple players at once via import. I only recommend the manual method if you are adding just a handful of players, but that is likely to only be the case during the season after you've initially rostered everyone. Adding players one at a time is straightforward, though tedious. There will be a supplementary video in the Club Admin Common Issues playlist elaborating further on that method. Thankfully, Godsport have made the import process fairly painless. From your club dashboard, select the Players tab under Club Management. At the top of the page, click Upload Players. You will see some instructions in the box on the right of the page and an upload section on the left of the page. Click Download Template with only required columns. This CSV file will be your import file, so make sure to keep it a CSV file and don't save it as a workbook file or the import will fail. So if you have a spreadsheet already that you use to collect player / parent information, then you can just copy and paste those columns into the import file to save yourself some time. I just want to quickly make a couple notes about some of the columns here. The date of birth column must be formatted so that the zeros are included in the date, or the import will fail. To do this, just highlight the column and right-click it, then select Format Cells. In the window that appears, select Custom at the bottom of the left side. Now enter MMDDYYYY and click OK. Set the competitive level to competitive. If you do not have an address for all players, the information shown on my template here will satisfy the import requirements, so feel free to use these. They can be updated later if needed as well. The information for the parent name and email / user ID will be used to create the parent profile in addition to the player's profile is attached to. So you will enter your own account information for the parent information so that the player's profiles are children of your profile, because they need a parent profile entered for this import to not fail. Note that if someone in your import does match a pre-existing profile on Godsport, the system will recognize this and add a pre-existing profile to your dashboard. If you just wanted to add these players to your dashboard but not assign them to a team just yet, then you could just stop now and use the import file as it is. However, if you want to also assign them to a team, you can do that as well using this file. You can make changes to the rosters using imports later, using one of the video guides in the Club Admin Common Issues playlist. There's nothing forcing you to add them to the team now versus later. In order to assign them to a team now, you'll need to add a few columns to your import file: team name, team age, and team gender. Make sure these match exactly as they are shown when you view the team in Godsport. Once you have your import file ready and you have confirmed that it is still a CSV file, you're ready to upload the file to Godsport. Back on that upload page, we can now use that left side box. Select US Club from the affiliation dropdown. Leave this box checked. Leave this drop-down menu as it is. Check team upload box only if you are assigning teams now. Select the file and click Open Selected File. On the next page, you will get to preview the import and make sure that the system matched all the columns properly. Since we use the import template, all columns should be assigned correctly, except for maybe the last 3 columns we added. Just select the correct option from the drop-down of those 3 columns if they aren't already set. Click Import Data. You'll get a confirmation message that says the import is being processed, and you'll get an email when the import is complete. You should get that email almost immediately, unless you are adding an absurd number of players at once, which may take up to 15 minutes or so. If the import was a success, you will now see all of your players in the Players tab under Club Management. If there is an error during the import, it will tell you which row had the error so you can determine which player had that error. You can use the previously mentioned Club Admin Common Issues playlist if you are having issues with the import. If you assign teams to your players during this import, then we will finish the next step of that process during video guide number 7 after we get the coaches added into the system. If you did not assign teams, then you will still be able to use video guide number 7 to roster your players. Before I wrap this up, I wanted to quickly show you where you can upload the picture and proof of birth for the players. Just head to the Players tab under Club Management, click on Player, and at the top of this window that pops up, we can upload the picture. Crop it a bit. And then to upload the proof of birth, select Documents on the left sidebar, New Document, Proof of Birth, click Go, select Proof of Birth, then find the file. Now save. So we still need to add our coaches and team managers, and we will get started on that in the next video.